Welcome to Coffee Break with the Home Collective, your 10-minute quick caffeine fix for all things Philly real estate. We're swapping out our evening cocktails for steaming mugs of joe as we dish out the latest buzz on the housing scene. I'm Kristin McFeely, and here with my sidekick and teammate Bill Ball, we're taking a midday office break and heading across the street to our favorite coffee shop. So grab a cozy corner booth, sip that espresso, and let's spill the beans on all things brick and brews in Philadelphia.
Kristin, did you see that house that just sold in Stone Harbor for $10 million? This cottage that's getting ripped down to the ground?
I did. And of course, you know I love it because it's a little tiny cottage and I like the little tiny things. But yeah, $10 million. It's a 3-bedroom beachfront bungalow from 1954. And it was sold for, it's on the beach, which is pretty sweet. I mean, it's the last of the ones on the beach. So it is, $10 million to be raised and a new home put there.
Did it have a lot of acreage, or is it just a beach? No. It's just the beachfront property?
It's just a little tiny turquoise cottage.
Oh, my God.
It was actually, it made its cameo in the final scenes of the movie Philadelphia, if you remember that movie, back from 1993. With Tom Hanks.
Is that a Tom Cruise piece?
Philadelphia? Tom Hanks.
Oh, Tom Hanks. Yeah, that boring guy.
And Denzel Washington?
Denzel, yeah, I like him.
How do you not remember the movie Philadelphia?
No, I'm just
anyway. It was in there. But yeah, it's the last beachfront bungalow in the Cape May County resort town. And it just sold for $10 million.
How do you even
it's
come
crazy.
up with
it's all
that
over
number?
the news.
Like, how did they even know? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what? It's just because it's sitting on the beach?
It's right on the beach. It's on 111th Street, and it overlooks the dunes.
Do you have an address?
Let me look. I don't know. It's 111th Street, but it's the last house, so I don't know.
Oh, it just says 111th Street, Stone Harbor, New Jersey. Does that sound?
So 2111th Street.
2111th Street?
I think that 111th Street. 111th Street, maybe that's it. So they're basically saying they'll probably go high, obviously, to get better views of the ocean. Because if you, right now it's like a Cape Cod style bungalow, so it's like a story and a half, I guess you'd say. It said they'll probably go high, and the owner, of course, has chosen to remain private, but it was not purchased by a neighbor who wanted to protect their own view. So some people, I guess there was like a rumor that maybe a neighbor had purchased it so that nothing could be built there to protect their view, and it was not. So
the person behind this house is going to lose their beach view? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. Probably. I mean, I don't know what the zoning is and how high up you can go, but the house next to it is one of the big kind of like mansion-y, McMansion kind of looking things. So it'll go at least that high. So I don't know.
I mean, you can't really blame the owner. I mean, if you're going to get some kind of crazy number, I mean, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Like, what can you do now? If the person that bought this house is really cool, maybe there's something they could do for the neighbor behind them. In other words, I don't know how high they plan to go, but maybe they can build them some kind of roof deck or something. I mean, if you're spending $10 million on a house that you're just going to level and then build new construction, you got the money to build the guy behind you some kind of roof deck that they could see over.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at an aerial photo. So the house behind it kind of has a bit of a pitched roof, so a roof deck wouldn't work. But I don't know. So the last time this house was there was a sale, it was in 1993, and it sold for $658. And that was not that long. That was 30 years ago, actually, because I'm coming up on my 30-year high school reunion, which was 93. So 30 years ago for $658, which actually $658 is a lot of money 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But
I'm just laughing comparing to the $10 million.
Well, now it's a 1,420% increase.
My goodness.
to reach the $10 million. It's crazy. Goodness. Have you been to Stone Harbor before?
Stone Harbor, yeah. I was there one time in my whole life. And me and my wife went there for a week vacation, maybe the year before we got married, maybe. I want to say maybe 2017. It was awesome. I'd never been there before. I've been to Sea Isle Avalon, Ocean City, of course. So, we went there for like a week, and we loved it. We loved it. It was amazing. Yeah, we had such a good time.
Beautiful.
Yeah, really nice. The real estate is insane.
I mean, the Jersey Shore is insane. Growing up, my grandmother used to rent a place for the whole summer every year in LBI, in Long Beach Island, in Ship Bottom. And so as a kid, when we were little, we would always be down there for most of the summer with my dad and my grandmother. And then my aunt ended up buying a place in Ocean City, Maryland, because it was so cheap at the time to buy something. And after my grandmother passed, my family ended up buying a place in Ocean City, Maryland as well, to be near my aunt in the summers. And we spent every summer of my childhood since I think we bought it when I was like 14. So, we still have the house, but it was so much cheaper. I mean, just going to Maryland is so much cheaper than the Jersey Shore. But the Jersey Shore now has reached limits that are like, I mean, these are like Martha's Vineyard prices. Like, this is crazy.
It's crazy
for the Jersey Shore. I mean, the Jersey Shore is nice, but
I know. But like, come on, like a couple years ago,
these are like,
a couple years ago, Sheena wanted to do something for. Oh my God, this might have been my 40th. I guess it's 10 years ago. I can't remember. I think it might have been my 40th. So she was.
That would be 10 years. Yeah.
Well, 9 years ago, Kristin. Let's don't.
I know. All right.
Let's slow down. I still have 1 year left.
That's okay.
All right. So, she was going to do like a long weekend down the shore. She was like pricing everything. It was cheaper to go to Riviera Maya and stay at the resort than go down the shore. She's like, yes. Guess what? I thought she like upgraded us. I was like, oh my God, that's great. She's like, it was cheaper. It was cheaper to get the fly to Riviera Maya, stay there 4 or 5 nights in the their all inclusive resort than just to drive down the shore for 3 nights.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, the prices are like Hampton's prices now. It's really insane.
Since we moved to Cinnaminson, I was looking at the map, and I'm like, where is LBI? I heard about LBI my whole life. I've never been there, and I'm looking, and it's like directly across from me now. It's almost faster. I can get there quicker than Ocean City, which we like.
You can probably get to LBI from your place, I'm guessing, in like 45 minutes.
I think it was like 50, 55 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
But what's that like?
I mean, I loved it growing up, but we were kids. I mean, I will say Billy's family a few years back got a house for a week there in Beach Haven, and that was my first time back in years and decades. And the whole family went, and it was a whole. I won't get into it. It was a fiasco.
You need another drink before you tell that story.
We need more than coffee to tell that story. Believe me, but we'll hit it at some point. But anyway. Yeah, we were there, and the one thing I recognized being an adult there is there's like some stuff for kids. There's like a little amusement park and things like that, and like a trampoline park, and there really wasn't like there weren't a lot of like bars or like nightlife activity. Okay. It's quiet. It's much more quiet.
That's my speed now.
Pretty, yeah. And where we used to be on 25th Street in Ship Bottom, the whole street were these bungalows that just sold for 10 million. They were all little bungalows. They were all super small. My grandmother rented this place that almost looked like a little ranch house. She rented that place for like 30 years, every single summer. And it was just such a sweet little street, all these bungalows. But of course, I did drive by the old street again just to see what was there. And everything's been leveled, and it's all these big, giant
like
houses
new construction stuff.
So I think that's everywhere. When you're in a beach town.
I was asking my neighbor about LBI, and they were saying it's nice, but it's not that built up. So is that what you were talking about there?
Yeah. It's like, it's not that built up. I will say the housing stock has changed since I was a kid, but of course we're talking, a very long time ago, where it was a lot of little bungalows, and now there's much bigger homes, but there's not a lot like to do. Like we were kind of looking for like a bar for all of us to go out to, and there were like 3 to choose from, or like a restaurant. There were a couple, but it wasn't like. I mean, of course, in contrast, we have a place in Ocean City, Maryland, and Bill, you and Sheena have been down to stay with us, and that's so built up.
Yeah,
I mean, built up to a point that I actually don't even enjoy how built up it is.
Yes.
I would actually rather go to like Rehoboth or Lewis at this point, but it's so built up. I mean, everything is within like a stone's throw. You can go to like 10 bars and boardwalk and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, LBI is a much like slower pace and not crazy.
I'm definitely going to get there this summer. I got to check it out. But let's give this address one more time of this house in Stone Harbor we're talking about.
So, okay, you're the one who found the address. All I can see is
right underneath the
111th
picture.
Street.
Right underneath the picture, it says this house at 111th. Do you see that? Like in real?
So it's 2. I'm looking at an Inquirer article. You're looking at a Philly Mag article. We're looking at 2 different things. So it's 2, number 2, 111th Street. Yeah.
All right.
In Stone Harbor, New Jersey.
So if you guys want to Google this house and check out this article, it is 111th Street in Stone Harbor, New Jersey.
Yeah.
All right, Kristin, we got to get back to work. Fun talking about this with you, but I'll see you at happy hour.
Okay. See you next week.